Good afternoon, everybody. It is Saturday, July 18th, and after an extremely wet spring and wet early summer, we finally had a fantastic stretch of dry days here on the southeastern North Carolina coast. We have been hot and dry, no rain at all for the past week, and I've been checking around the fig orchard, and I've noticed that there are 4 different varieties of figs at least that are beginning to swell. So pretty soon I'm going to have a number of tasting videos coming in the fig orchard. And it just so happens that one of those varieties has finally ripened and it's ready for picking. So this is going to be our very first fig taste testing of the year. And this fig tree right here is a Celeste fig tree. I planted it in my front yard last year, but Celeste has a habit of dropping all of its figs the first couple seasons, and in year 1 it did drop 100% of its figs. This is its second full season, and while it started to drop some figs earlier in the year, the ones that are on there now are all holding and ripening, so I'm very happy about this. Celeste is a very common fig. It's especially common here in the southeast, and the reason why it's so common in the southeast is because it handles rain and humidity like a champ. It is extremely split resistant, so for our humid wet summers it's almost a must-have variety because it's so reliable. It is also one of the earliest figs in existence. It's so reliable here in the southeast that all of the LSU, the Louisiana State University figs, they were all bred using the Celeste fig as a parent fig, I believe, and that's because of its reputation for how well it does here in the southeast. This is not something that you're going to find commercially in a grocery store, and that's because the figs on it are very small. Most figs are going to be well under 20 grams, and it's not going to be out of the question to have some that are smaller than 10 grams. So this is by no means a fancy schmancy fig, however, it is very productive. And you can see it has a number of ripe figs on it already, as well as a number of figs that are in the process of becoming ripe. And the reason why I chose this tree for my front yard is because it's a really beautiful looking tree and it holds up very well here in the southeast. It virtually never dies back, and you can see it's absolutely loaded with fruit. Pretty much everywhere you look there are ripe fruits on it, or fruits in the process of ripening. So we're going to pick a number of these and we will taste test them and see how they do. So it turns out that I had a pretty nice haul on that fig tree, especially for being so early. And the first thing I want to show you is how small these figs actually are. This is one of the smallest varieties that you will find. This guy is only 12 grams. This guy is 14 grams. That's one of the bigger Celestes. This will be one of the biggest ones I have. 16 grams. And you know, some of them are even smaller than that. Some don't even hit 10 grams before they ripen. So you can really see how tiny all of these figs really are. And when you compare a Celeste to something like an Italian 258 that can become 50 or 60 grams, or a Col de Dame Blanc that can get even bigger, all of those figs, and there are 7 figs total, actually weigh less than 2 of some of the larger variety figs. In fact, you can even get some humongous figs that weigh more than all these figs put together. So this is not a novelty fig. This is not a fig that is grown to be fancy or gourmet. This is a fig that you grow strictly for production, because boy are they productive. So these 2 figs right here feel like they are the ripest, so we're going to cut into them. And generally, you know a fig is ripe when you squeeze it and it almost feels like it's a little bag of jelly. So let's cut these figs open and see what we're looking at inside. And the Celeste fig has a bright red interior, and this is what is known as a sugar fig. This is not a complex fig, it's not a berry fig, it is not a honey fig. It's supposed to taste a lot like brown sugar. So we will give this fig a taste. And boy, what a beautiful tasting plate that is. And I can't wait to try my Celeste fig. These are so much better than anything you get in the grocery store. They just pop. This really does just taste like a spoonful of sugar. There's not a lot of complex flavors in this fig. It is just very sweet. It's very sweet and very delicious. It's not a berry flavor. It's almost like if you were to take a teaspoon into a bag of light brown sugar, not dark brown. There isn't that molasses flavor to it. However, it does have some light caramel tones to it. So I would consider this to be a sugar fig, or like a light brown sugar fig. It's almost a little caramely. It has a very caramel taste to it, and it is absolutely delicious. I'm fortunate enough to live by a Trader Joe's, and they're a California company, so they get a lot of figs imported from California, and they have had Black Mission a few times. And while a Black Mission is larger than this, it's much larger than this, it doesn't taste nearly as good. This is so much better than the Black Missions in the grocery store. It's ridiculous. And I know later in the year I'm going to start becoming a fig snob as my Col de Dames ripen and my Italian 258 and Black Madeira and Smith begin to ripen, because those are much more complex figs with a lot more going on, and they have a syrupy interior, and varieties like Celeste that's just a plain old boring sugar fig will fall by the wayside. But it's just not fair to look at figs like that, because we need to be thankful for every fig we get, because it's such a short season, and this fig produces in difficult climates that others fail. And it's very early. It will give you bountiful harvests of figs, while your others are just starting to do their second swelling, and they still may make you wait a month or more before they give you something good to eat. So this fig is ready for you right now, and it will provide you delicious, delicious figs all season. So while it may not be fancy or complicated or rare, it's just a wonderful fig that everybody should have, because it is just so reliable and it is just so good. But at the end of the day, who really cares what I have to say about the fig? We need to go to the official taste tester and see what his opinion is. And Dale has been a very good boy. He has been waiting very patiently for his first ripe, fresh fig of the season. And that is exactly what we are going to give him. We are going to give Mr. Dale his very first fresh, ripe fig of the season. Mr. Dale, sit, wait, stay, give us a shake. Good boy. Dale, can you go down? Oh, that's very good. So what do you think, buddy? Can you give us a review? Do you taste the light brown sugar and caramel undertones? Do you? Well, I think you do. Oh, he told me he does. He says it's very good. In fact, he's a little bit mad at me because I don't have more for him. We'll save him one more fig from our tasting plate over there, but I have a neighbor that I know will just absolutely love these, so I'm going to bring the rest over to him. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have the very first official taste testing video of the year. I hope you enjoyed it. I know Dale enjoyed it, because this is the very first homegrown ripe fig that Dale has ever had in his entire life. But don't you worry, because there is plenty more where that came from. Dale is going to get his fill of plenty of figs this season and every season moving forward. Everyone, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found it helpful, please hit that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe for future updates and more videos like these. If you're curious about anything that I use in my garden, everything that I use is linked in my Amazon storefront in the video description. If you use my storefront link, it won't cost you a dime, but it does help me out, and it helps me to keep producing these videos. So if you start your shopping with one of my Amazon links, I would really appreciate that. Thank you all again so much for watching, and I hope to see all of you again on the next video.